Hey y'all, Miss B, and we're here to recap The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, Season 6, Episode 6, Out of Gas. Lord, Mary, Jesus, help us. Mary, don't you weep, tell Martha, don't you moan. Anyway, the scene opens up kind of with like Heather and Angie making coffee with yada yada, and then they get on the phone together and basically talk about the previous day in the previous drama, and then the fact that they go on this trip, and Angie takes a lot of accountability for her actions, and Heather kind of starts seeing like, I've been riding for Lisa, but Lisa ain't right, okay? And I'm like, Heather, did you just not see this? Like, she came on this show calling you the good time, whatever, neither here nor there. That conversation kind of ends. Then we go to Todd and Bronwyn, my favorite housewife of Salt Lake City. And you can obviously tell that Todd does not want to film unless it's just with him and Bronwyn. Because they go to just some random place and eat ice cream. And I was thinking in my head, they can eat ice cream at home. Either way, they're sitting there talking, and Bronwyn is updating him on the previous day's activities, and I'm on the same type of time that Todd is on. Never thought I'd ever agree with Todd. Bronwyn, I don't give a damn about Lisa Barlow, and I don't care about what you think you could have fixed or did fix, or that you weren't a part of the drama, and then her and Angie were having that beef. All of it, honestly, long as what I've gathered from this whole episode before I even get to all of it, long as Lisa Barlow is in the mix of this show, in this cast, if anybody has skeletons in their closet and she's mad at you, she's going to pull them out. I don't know how she has the resources to do it. I don't like her. I don't care. Allegedly, whatever you want to say, bitch, I ain't got that type of money. So, whatever. I feel like whenever she is mad at someone, we have seen it since this franchise has been on. Lisa Barlow has been the purposes of that. Anyway, let me move on. Braun was just telling him, like, we made, I feel like I wasn't a part of it. I was like, he was just like eating his ice cream. She was like, don't pick my cherry, my cherry. And he was like, did it anyway. Look cute something or whatever. And then I was thinking to myself, the same way Todd's face was looking like, why do you care about Lisa Barlow? Why? Bronwyn, you're my favorite. I don't know if you're doing this for the show or you really want to be this lady's friend, because she's not your friend. She's not anybody's friend. What about your friend? Ain't Lisa Barlow. So then she tells him about the psychic. And remember, on last week's episode, the psychic told her, like, there's still something going on with your mom medically. And Todd say, is he a medical psychic? I mean, Todd is asking all great questions, but at the same time, still kind of being condescending and dismissive of Bronwyn's feelings instead of just listening to her. But he's a lot more calmer than he was last season. But I would say Todd don't give a damn about this show. I mean, didn't he create Blackberry? He's sitting on the second hash. I just think he's being supportive of his wife, which means he really does love Bronwyn. And at moments, she kind of like, oh, can you not like act like this in a moment? And he like, get over it, okay, whatever, and move on. He's of a certain age, clearly, and she's of a particular age, clearly. So, yeah. Bronwyn's younger, he's older, so he's gonna do, whatever makes her happy in this scene and what we see. The next scene we see is John and Lisa Barlow. And all I can say is, for some reason, Lisa feels very comfortable sitting with whomever that producer is in her confessionals, in her Cowboy Carter outfit. Mind you, Cowboy Carter is over, but I think during this time they were filming, you know, probably was still a thing to wear cowboy hats and, you know, go like you dress to the West. Because I'm like, well, every time we see Lisa Barlow, she dressed like she's going to Cowboy Carter. That's neither here nor there. When he even begins to speak, y'all, she overtalks him. She demeans him. And then she, you know, starts talking about like how she does all the jobs and does all these things and it's all on her. And if you look at the energy between and the body language between them, there's cracks in the ceiling. Like literally. She compared herself to a glass. And she feel like, you know, she's a pit bull or whatever. He's like the, you know, she's like the glass and it can break and she just falls apart and shit like that. But there's clearly cracks in your foundation, Lisa. While you over there trying to clock everybody's money, clock everybody's tea, like you didn't come outside until on the last episode say what the psychic told you to all the ladies. No, you pretend like everything is so happy and we're so great. And me and John are great. You and John ain't great. I could look at that man. I wouldn't be surprised if we get a breaking news Bravo update somewhere during my timeline that her and John are separated. What I said on my last episode, that man's a Scorpio and you a Sagittarius. Y'all ain't never worked. And then y'all said it. It never worked. Y'all never was on the same page about anything. Business, personal, whatever. But she was just like, she's pouring her heart out in the confessionals, but she's not saying it on camera. Not even with her husband. Not even with her friends. And then she was like, oh, I sit outside and they talk to my daddy and I cry from you, Argentina. I don't care. Cry me a river. I have no grace. None. Zero for Lisa Barlow. I see you for who you are. I know them type of women you are. And I do not like you at all. I don't care. You can say this is an edited show. You can say, no, they didn't show me in this light and all that. I don't care. I don't like Lisa Barlow. That's my stance. I'm going to stick to it. It's not changing. I don't care if she come back and she went to India and met a monk and changed her life. I don't like Lisa Barlow. Moving right along. Angie and Mary meet up. Child, Mary, producer would say, Mary, you gotta go to Angie's house. Like, and she get in her car, the wind blowing her blouse all open. She climbing up the stairs. And she like, usually, you know, I gotta let myself in. Now you at the door and Angie meets her, greets her with, I don't know what type of beverage they was. They didn't show the front of it, but she's like, it's got too much sugar. You don't need it either. But what Mary was saying to Angie, I was on for about 10 minutes. Saying like, stop letting, basically in Mary saying it, but I'm going to say it in my terms, how I felt like Mary was trying to say it. You know how this woman is. Stop letting her upset you to this fact, the fact where it's affecting our friendship. To the fact where I can't even calm you down. You cannot throw these temper tantrums. You can't. If that heifer want to go low, go high. I know it's hard. Trust me, I know. Trust me, I know. But you know what you know, Angie. You know what this heifer just throwing out stuff to see if it stick at the wall. Because she's bitter and she's unhappy. Her marriage is not working. Everything that she's pretending, her glass fake house that she's built in her brain is crumbling. So she's going to take it out on anyone and everyone. And I got Mary. She ain't say it like that. Mary ain't say it like that. But I'm, paraphrasing for Mary. Because, Mary has her own way of saying things. And then, they get to talking about, friendship and sisterhood. And when Mary pointed that finger and said, well, find another sister. She didn't say sister. Sister. As a black woman, if I have anyone of another race that watches my channel, watches these recaps, when a black woman points their finger in your face and you don't use the ER on sister and use the SA, the AS, shit, sister, you know what I'm saying? She's serious. Mary was hot. And she told her, she was like, I ain't come over here for no charcuterie board. Matter of fact, that charcuterie board, or whatever the hell that was that Angie K made, look good. Had olives and cheese. Child, I wanted that. I ain't come over here for all that. Mary was, I ain't come over here for all that. I came over to check your ass. And checking it, she did. And after she was like, find another sister. Another one. Okay. But Mary, you lost me, girl. You lost me in the sauce. When one of your examples of Angie K not being a sister was her making fun of your farts. I want y'all to take a shot of anything. Ginger shot, turmeric shot, alcohol beverage, hope you legal. Anything, every time Mary said fart, you were making fun of my fart. And fart. And then fart. And then fart. I was like, Mary, girl, keep your eye on the prize. Girl, you had me going for a minute like I was with you, like we see each other. And then, girl, you just thought, your example was using fart. Girl, you said you had gas and you farted. I would be the same way. And they was playing it off like a joke. It wasn't that serious, Mary, but you made it something that it wasn't. You took something so serious and it made it about farts. Fart. Fart here. Fart there. Fart everywhere. Fart. We're human. We all fart. And then she was like, wait a minute, the dog farted. Because my farts don't smell. Girl, why is we dissecting farts? Mary? You know what? That's why everybody love Mary Cosby. Because, child, she's so disassociated from normal people. Like, that wasn't even something I would bring up in a serious conversation I'm having with my friend about us being sisters. How I feel like you losing yourself behind some old mother Lisa Barlow. Like, she's purposely pulling you down there. Like, girl, listen to me. And you want to make a fart. Yeah, Mary, girl, you lost me. Fart. I wrote this down. What the fuck? Fart. Mary keeps saying fart. I literally wrote this down. Mary just won't stop saying fart. But also, Mary lets us know she doesn't let a lot of people in. We know the story with her mom and her grandmother and her husband who she married, who was married to her. Like, she is very guarded. So she let Angie K in. Angie K was there, to kiss the ring. But, girl, I couldn't take you serious. And I'm surprised Angie K kept a serious face on as many times as you mentioned about farts. I'm just like, Mary, I get your point, girl. You make a lot of sense. And she said, it's been, she said 20 years or so, like, till she let somebody in to know things about her, let her into her world. And I get that makes sense. But, girl, sometimes maybe you should let, like, I don't know, maybe not friends, but, like, associates to let you know if you arguing with your sister and you telling your sister she out of control and throwing tantrums, and stop letting Lisa Barlow drag you down to the gutter with her. Just don't bring her farts. I mean, girl, I passed gas or whatever. But girl, you just kept saying fart. Just fart. Fart. So after that, they hugged it out. Angie K, kissed the ring. They're back good, hopefully. The next scene, we have Heather and Lisa going shopping. And this scene let me know everything that I've already been saying. As long as you go along to agree along with everything that Lisa Barlow is saying, you have no problem with her. The moment that Heather Pygmisha started challenging her on her actions that day with Angie K, she couldn't take it. That's what I saw with the conversation with her and her husband. That's why he just shut the fuck up. Because he was like, there's no point in having this conversation here, because if I disagree with her, we're going to have a whole moment on this camera scene, and I know that's not going to be good for her or the brand or the business or whatever the hell he cares about. So I'm just going to sit here and do that. Same thing. Heather finally found her ball sack, and was telling Lisa, you were wrong and you went low. Why are you throwing shade? We're going on a trip. Lisa put her glasses on. Bitch, you ain't Beyonce, hoe. The fuck? Nobody care about you putting your glasses on. Like, why? Because you don't cry? We don't care. Don't cry for me, Argentina. And they was shopping around. Honestly, I was paying attention to... Heather was actually picking out items. Lisa was just shopping around talking shit. That's what... Y'all like that woman? Y'all actually like Lisa Barlow? Y'all like her? Like, for real. Like, honestly. Dead ass. Away from TV. There's not enough editing or inputting somebody could do to somebody can be this delusional of grandeur that Lisa Barlow is. And I could never stand her. And we're going to see in the next episode how Heather going to bring up every time you fall out with somebody, Lisa Barlow, some shit from their past get brought up. I don't... Sneak asshole. I don't like that, Lisa Barlow. So we even find out in the mix of Lisa Barlow putting on her glasses, acting like she's somebody fabulous, like she a 5-star bitch, acting like she Beyonce, somebody in the store. Nobody wants to see her cry. When you see the little girls around looking like, She even puts in, Heather asks her, who the hell is a suit man? Remember, last episode. I said suits man. Bitch, what the fuck did you say? What did you say? You don't know what you said. You just be making stuff up, Lisa. You're doing exactly what you say everybody else do. It's like, I had an epiphany in my brain watching that scene when Jen Shah got caught. How the hell got on the phone with 15,000 lawyers with the Whitney stuff, the hot mic moment with Meredith, Heather. Every time, Angie, every time you have a problem with somebody, Lisa Barlow, you like shit start popping off out the ass, out everywhere, and you don't want to hear it. You have a problem with listening to people telling you stuff that you don't want to hear. Because you're a Sagittarius. And that's why you and your husband, I bet you, y'all gonna get a divorce. I seen it in his body language, in the way y'all was talking. It was so performative. It was so whatever. You are not who you think you are, Lisa Barlow. I want to be the one to tell you, yes, yeah, me, my broke ass. You probably say, oh, you don't have the money I have. Oh, bitch, I don't give a fuck about that. You are not who you think you are. So, yeah, another thing, while Heather was not really gathering you, but just like calling you out on your sheet, finally, Heather came from under your ass and held you accountable. When it was time for y'all to check out, I saw how they kept pivoting to that stack of hundreds you had. Why you weren't using no credit card? I mean, Angie K pulled out all her credit cards. I'm sure she could have used it as so y'all was just in like a little boutique. That reminded me, I'm just saying, I'm not saying nothing, but I'm just saying what it reminded me of when Teresa Giudice on season 1 of New Jersey pulled out that stack of cash to buy her furniture. You pulled out a stack of hundreds to buy some jeans, shorts, and some shit, some random shit to go on a trip. Yeah, I pay attention to everything. Yeah, so Lisa Barlow, while you over there, I could count. What you say about Angie? I could count how many. It won't take me long. Girls, you're not you're not all of this. You're not who you think you are. Period. Moving right along. And girl, whoever did your facelift and your hair, fire them. Next, Dingy Brittany. I want to say, Dingy Brittany popped on my Instagram timeline singing her face off. I was like, oh my God, the heifer can sing. No, I'm not just talking about singing. I'm talking about like trained vocalists, like singing. Like, I was like, oh my God, Dingy Brittany can sing? All I know is about her and the Osmond boy. Dingy Brittany meets up with Olivia. I'm saying Olivia like that. If y'all know, watch The Color Purple. If you haven't, that's where I got it from. No shade to her daughter, but I love the fact that her daughter came in there. You could tell she was like, okay, where am I supposed to sit? Sit down. I'm not here for no BS. I want to tell you how I feel. And then get Brittany. Brittany, you older than me, I'm sure. Your daughter said in your face and told you that you chose men over her. She wanted the mother that she had prior to you choosing men over her. Why? She gave you an example of her coming to see you and Jared, the Osmond boy, came over there and y'all started making out and you just act like she wasn't there. What happened, Dinky Brittany, between you being married to, I guess, her father to then that changed you? I know y'all in that religion. I'm not judging it. But I am just so attached to my children, even we not seeing the same page, that the last thing I would think about is a man. And I'm glad they gave Olivia, I'm sorry, I can't stop saying it because Color Purple, gave Olivia her confessional to give out her grievances, and as she should. And she was very mature and she articulated the way she felt. And then Brittany, you should be feeling very bad and mighty low. Another Color Purple reference about treating your children the way you did, because apparently you were the mom there doing the ballet and being at all the rehearsals, so you just stopped. And to the girl thought it was her fault. Yeah, I ain't like that, Dinky Brittany. No. Leave the men alone and fix their relationship with your child. I don't know if you've tried to fix this relationship with your child because the psychic told you or because it's a scene for you on this show. I don't know. But Olivia, you articulate yourself well. Kudos to Olivia. For being respectful, though. She wasn't disrespectful to her mother by telling her her feelings. She was very respectful to her mother by telling her her feelings, and it sunk in, and then Dinky Brittany wanted to cry, whatever, but I was like, no, it's too late for that. Like, the girl is 19. Apparently, her dad did a very good job of raising her, and I guess he had a wife. I don't know. We don't know that story about Dinky Brittany because she's only a friend of. Anyway, great scene with Olivia. I'm moving right along. Meredith and Heather, this whole scene irritated the hell out of me. Because what the fuck is wrong with Meredith? Meredith, you be the one wanna... I'm not saying you do, but like, you don't play about... You ride from a nigga's I dive up. Like, you don't... So you just gonna ride blindly in the dark with Lisa Barlow? When even Heather is saying, no, girl, I'm trying to tell you basically what this conversation is, where they was drinking, walking with their Starbucks. Girl, I'm trying to tell you... I believe Angie. I believe Lisa be digging up dirt on all of us. And it makes perfect sense. It all adds up. 1 + 1 = 2. I mean, like, we see it with everybody on the show. Every time that Lisa Barlow follows with somebody, she wants to dig up dirt on them. And be like some blind item or some blind thing. But Meredith, for some reason, I don't know. Maybe they decided to have this alliance, whatever. I don't know. But I'm glad Heather done woke up. Because, bitch, you gonna fuck around and find out if you piss goddamn Lisa off. And you know what? Like, Angie K said, I'm tired of this bully. You bullying me. Oh. Anyway. Meredith didn't want to hear it. And then she even broke it down to Meredith. Meredith ain't dumb. In layman's terms, she said she had to apologize to you because she was on a hot mic. I wish I had that hot mic, god darn thing on a tape recorder. Kempire has it. Of all the things that she said about Meredith on that hot mic, and that was just one time, y'all. Think about all the time she said about all the women on the show. She was like, Heather, finally we got real Heather back. Are you going to regress? Stay here, Heather. Hold on. Change is coming. And Mary's like, no, I have a history with Angie. What is the history with her and Angie? I can't remember, like, it was that bad. Well, you can't believe somebody saying, guess what, girl? This girl that you think is your friend, I know we fell out and all, which I gave Angie K flack on last week. But I want to tell you, she wanted me to dig up stuff, and she was listing things. She wasn't saying just random things. She was listing things, and I could see in Meredith's eyes, she knew what she was listing was true. But for some reason, Meredith wanted to hold on to Lisa Barlow, whatever, girl. So then after that, we get Angie and Mary barging into Whitney's house. And they got to talk about the trips, and I'm like, oh my God, if I could have a trip where I can put out my preferences, or like they call it when you're on, like when you're entertainer, you're on the road, to call it a rider. What do you want? I was like, oh my God, I would want to like go to more like some parfait, a glass of champagne. Everybody did their stuff except Mary. Mary, mind you, hold on, look at my pen. Mind you, Angie's writing down her preferences. She said 2,000 Don P, I don't know how many times, and some blueberries. And Whitney was like, the most bougie of them all has not done her preferences. How many times did she say, y'all, how many times she said fart? Is probably how many times she said 2003 Don P and some blueberries. Then they bring up Bronwyn's legal issues, which we all knew about before the show aired. What I did not know was one of the things was an eviction when she left BYU. Whatever the hell that damn college is that all the Mormons go to. Excuse my, I'm not trying to offend anybody in Utah. An eviction? That's like, that was the tea you drudged up, Lisa, allegedly. And then something about identity theft and grand theft auto, but it was sealed and she can't talk about it. And the reason she can't talk about it because it was sealed, I mean, they had some contractual agreement that said parties of any of the issue. I'm not a lawyer shit, but I'm just saying, like, I can use common sense. She can't talk about it on this platform because obviously she signed something that said parties cannot talk about this after this is thing, and then after this is done and it's sealed. And I'm assuming she thought that it'd never come out, but Lisa likes to play dirty. But something Nene Leakes always said, and it always sticks with me: you never win when you play dirty. So then we have the next scene with Bronwyn again with her husband alone. He got her like a margarita. He said, I'm Diet Coked up. You know, he had his Diet Cokes. And they talk about it. And he was like, girl, why do you want to go on a trip with these women? I think he wants her like, you don't need this show. Like, we good. Like, we're good. They're good. They're done. But he was like, I wouldn't piss on Lisa if her brain was on fire. I said, my God, today, Todd. I agree. 100%. I wouldn't piss on Lisa Barlow if her brain was on fire. Yes, Todd. He said brain. Everybody used to say just on fire. No, he said her brain was on fire. And why do you want to go with these women? Because I know you're going to come back and tell me you got into it with Lisa Barlow. And I'm like, Todd ain't never lying. But Todd, for real, she signed a contract. She's doing a show. She got to go on a trip. I hope she doesn't miss the trip. And he said, girl, a tiger doesn't never change his stripes. I was like, yeah, they say leopard, but okay, tiger doesn't never always change his stripes. And then the episode ends. And we see next episode where Heather is gonna call Lisa out and she's gonna be crying on the phone, probably with John, who probably doesn't give a fuck anymore at this point. We're gonna see that, but that's the end of The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, episode 6. And I really like this episode. It's really good. Out of gas. Really great. Y'all drop down in the comments and let me know how y'all feel. I wonder how long. Well, only Meredith now. Are these ladies gonna sit around and let this Lisa Barlow F around on them? Because it's clearly every time she fall out with somebody's tea gets dropped. somebody's stuff gets in the press, even sealed documents. And I wouldn't be scared of that hoe. I'll tell you that. I wouldn't be scared of that hoe. Bro, is that why you wanted to be makeup person back? Because you knew you had something in your closet? Hell, your husband made Blackberry, bitch. You think he can't find out the tea? His money long. You see, she always only talk about Angie's money. She didn't say nothing about Bronwyn's money. Matter of fact, last season, she was all on Todd's. Okay? So anyway, like, comment, subscribe, and I will see next week how it all fall out when Heather, when they go on, I think it was Mediterranean Deck. I think the show, they merged together with Salt Lake City. Is this the episode where Meredith has her breakdown? Is it? We'll see. But I hope the chickens come home to roost. But Elisa Barlow, until you do right by anybody on this show, ain't nothing good gonna come from you. Bye, y'all.